just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right, this is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 233. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and we are presented by DraftKings. More good news with that in the following week. Knicks and Nets in the off-season, the down period before the fun begins in October, and of course, MLB playoff race heating up, and NFL football just around the corner, which I think is exciting. I know all of us feel pretty pumped up for all of that, which is coming. Don't forget, you can watch this podcast on YouTube. Check it out and subscribe. And then follow on Apple, Spotify. Give us that good like and follow so you check out the podcast, some of our previous interviews. Alex, I did all the administrative stuff, and I wanted to do it, and I think I did it well, damn it. How are you?
I'm doing great, yeah. Everybody like, subscribe, follow, everything. We're on all platforms. Give us a thumbs up, whatever you can do. Comment, 5 stars, everywhere. Download episodes. Okay, thank you. I'm good. Kind of crazy, the story that came out today with MSG and YES basically merging to create this Gotham Sports app. So if you have MSG Plus and YES Network, you now can go on one app for the low price of $41 a month. And
Yeah.
if you have cable, though, you're good. So don't worry about that. But you can use it for free if you have cable. Basically, you can watch the Mets, not the Mets, on SNY. So I'm already going wrong. The Nets. God, getting choked up here. The Nets, Yankees, Knicks, Rangers. I don't know about the Islanders and the Devils because they play on MSG, right? They're on MSG Plus or 2 or 7, whatever they play on. I don't know.
I have not watched a Devils or Islanders game since Martin Brodeur was behind
Scott Stevens.
Scott Stevens. NHL
That's the only
95
Devils I can name.
Stevens,
Yes.
Claude Lemieux.
Claude Lemieux, yes.
Ken
yes.
Danico.
Okay, yeah. Remember those?
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
all
it.
I
Stephon
got.
Matteau scored on them in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I remember. Okay, anyway.
No,
Matteau. That's the
I
last hockey
remember.
game I watched, I think. No, I'm kidding. I watched the Stanley Cup Finals in 94 too. But anyway, yeah, so they're all together. It's kind of bizarre because the Knicks and the Nets have had this Cold War for years. And now they're doing business together. So maybe that is why they opened the door for the Mikal Bridges trade. Maybe like they can do a trade now. It's been 41 years since the last trade, and now they're making a trade out of nowhere, and now we're in business together. Maybe it's like, hey, let's just talk.
No.
Why not? And there's only the 5th trade in franchise's history, both franchises' history. And 2 people. Should I jump around here, or should I stay on this topic?
No,
I'm going for it already. This is kind of right up your alley kind of stuff.
You got excited. Oh, I know. Hold on. Can I predict it?
Yeah.
It's going to be some sort of slam against the Nets.
No.
With the Knicks doing some. Okay, I thought that.
No, you're wrong. Wrong already. So in the first 2 Knicks and Nets history, the first trade was in 1978. The second one is 1981. The first trade in 1978 involved the Knicks sending Phil Jackson to the Nets, which is funny because Phil Jackson ended up running the Knicks, et cetera, et cetera. And the second one, Mike Woodson was traded to the Nets. So it's kind of funny that the 2 of the 5 trades in Nets history, in Knicks history, were involving 2 executive/coaches in Knicks history.
So what you're telling me is that in the year 2054, Mikal Bridges is going to be coaching the Knicks.
No, Bogdanovich will be. No.
Well, whatever. He'll be coaching the Nets. All indications are he's healthy and ready to go. I keep forgetting he's on the Nets.
I know, me too. He's going to score 25 a game. He's going to be. He's hurt though, right? He's still hurt.
Well, I mean, you remember he had head, shoulders, knees, and toes. He was destroyed.
Yeah, he had like 7 surgeries.
He went to the doctor. He had like a knee problem, and then they're like, "Oh,
your wrist is broken too." Yeah.
I don't go to the doctor, then you don't find out the bad news.
So he probably missed the beginning of the season, and it'll trade him when he's healthy.
I think he's okay. I think all indications are he's
Ooh, that's a good fantasy basketball pickup right there, man. Bogdanovich.
Point.
He was good on the Pistons, last year.
Yeah,
So
well, it's going to be the
before
same.
he got
Well,
to the
he
Knicks, and
won't
he was
be. I mean, he'll be. Yeah, I mean, Tibbs didn't like him for a lot of. I mean, he played okay. He had some moments, and he obviously would have
he
been.
did.
He actually had a good game 2, right, versus the
He hit
Pacers.
two
He had
threes
three.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Came off the bench at 2 3. He played his role perfect, and whatever.
He was more
Knicks would have won it
athletic
all.
than Nick
No,
fans thought. He had a couple of nice plays.
yeah,
And that
he's
surprised
good.
people.
He's nothing special,
Uh,
but he's good. He's okay.
No, he's past his prime. He was in his prime. He was a very good role player.
Yeah.
On a contending team. He was
Now
like,
he's a good 7th, 8th man on a contending team. Yeah.
Like Mikal Bridges is now, I would say.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He's Bogdanovich now. Mikal Bridges.
In his prime. Bogey in his prime. Not now. I'm not.
You think that's Mikal Bridges' ceiling? Is Bogdanovich's ceiling?
Where they are level wise as players. I'm not saying his ceiling. I think Mikal has a higher ceiling. I'm just saying prime Bogey is current Mikal.
See, I want to say you're wrong and say, no, Mikal Bridges is going to bounce back and he's going to have a breakout. But I also said last year Obi Toppin was going to be awesome on the Pacers, and he was just Obi Toppin on the Pacers. I mean, he's still good, but he's not going to be, 18 to 20 point per game scorer. So I don't know. But Mikal Bridges has done it before, and Obi Toppin has not. So, that was based on just prediction and feel. This is based on me feeling like Mikal Bridges had one foot out the door all last season with the Nets and wanted to be on the Knicks, and now he's on the Knicks and he's gonna be happy and it's gonna be great. I don't know what he's gonna be, borderline all-star is just what I feel. But the Knicks are also gonna pass it around and everybody's gonna get touch the ball and see what happens. They're gonna be just a great team, well-oiled machine.
I cannot wait for them to lose basketball games. But I am not gonna sit here and talk about Mikal Bridges anymore. Not gonna happen.
So what about Ben Simmons? How's Ben Simmons doing?
I am happy though, in one sense. If you do,
you just ignore me completely.
No, well, I want to get back to the topic at hand though.
Yes,
because if you buy the apps, someone like me, for example, who will watch both,
right?
Is nice that you could all have it in one place. I do think I'd be curious to know, and our producer didn't come through on this, which is why we had to fire him. But how much it previously cost for the YES app or for the MSG app. So if it was
I don't know,
$11 or $31.
Well, let's look it up.
Dollars and cents.
Continue.
I think this could be a positive or negative, and ultimately they think they're going to make money off this.
So what it was, this is an article from September 19th, 2023. Fans of cable can purchase the service as MSG Plus in 3 different ways: via monthly payment, $30 a month, annual subscription, $310 a month, or single game purchased at $10 per game. And now it's $41 a month for all teams. So it's pretty good considering.
It's good, but if
you had MSG Plus,
if you only like the Knicks, it sucks.
Right.
If you only like the Rangers, it sucks. But they're banking.
But if you're a Knicks and Yankee fan out of town, it's great. You don't have to get MLB whatever and league pass. You can just get one app. And you don't have to worry about the other teams.
No, I think
that's cool.
Like from my perspective, who uses apps, I'm actually okay with this.
It's a lot of money though, man. And that's the thing that getting cable is one thing, and it's a lot of money. Getting like Fubo or YouTube TV is another. You got to get whatever service suits your needs. Like I can't live without the Knicks or the Jets or the Mets. Like I just can't live without that stuff. So I need to have cable. Jets is easy.
Well, no, I mean the Jets are the NFL. You're going to get that. You don't need
right. But like if I don't have a cable service and I just pay for apps, it's going to be impossible to get NFL. I would have to get like the ticket, on YouTube, which is like $700 for the year, and then you got to pay $40 a month for Knicks games, and then you got to pay for SNY. It's just like I might as well just have cable. It's ridiculous. And you have everything, So it's not simple to have TV anymore. You just get cable and then that's it. You have to have all these apps and streaming services rules, and eventually it's going to get all consolidated. I feel like at some point in the next 10, 20 years, they can't keep triple dipping everywhere. Some people are going to eventually be like, find an alternative, like with music industry when they were charging $20 a CD for like 12-song album, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're just going to download this shit for free. And then eventually they just amended the streaming services took over.
I would say I'll be honest, on the side of the musicians, I think it's ridiculous that at the time you could just get music for free and all this hard work, they weren't benefiting from it. I completely
No, it was
See the
fucked
other
up.
side
The
of the
game was
coin
fucked
from
up,
it.
but also the consumer was like, "Yo, fuck you!" Like, you know,
Sure,
you're charging too
but-
much. You know, like it's like, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. It changed.
technology,
The game changed.
adjusted. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, the
that's what's
game
happening.
changed
You know,
based on what had to happen, and now it's you can stream things, and
yeah,
even if you go on YouTube and type in your favorite songs, there's ads that are involved there.
right.
The artist can still make money.
They get paid
for
off
their
the amount of
music.
streams and the views and the whatever. Yeah, so
It's just changed.
yeah,
It's just changed, and I think I personally have found see Hulu for me has been massive, has been
Right.
great. It's missing one thing,
The
one
Nets.
major thing for me. It's the Nets. Other than that, I would not need to go to any other app. I think where I get red zones on there, I'm
Right.
good. Obviously the Mets are on there with SNY.
hmm
And then it's got all the TV channels that I need. I mean, from basic news channels, sport, ESPNs, it's fine. It's missing one thing. If
the
Hulu had
most
the
important
Nets,
thing.
unfortunately, yeah. So that's the problem.
So fucked up, man. Like, why can't they just like what all this bureaucratic bullshit? You know what I mean? And we just
Money.
get fucked. And
People want money.
that's what I'm saying. Like with the music industry, it's gonna come to a head at some point. And people already have like streaming services like Stream East and stuff like that. I think it's called, where people download stuff and they're really good with that. It's gonna happen. People are just gonna revolt eventually and not sign up. And everybody's like, how is everybody watching these games and nobody's paying for it? You know, and then they're gonna realize, we got to lower our price or consolidate.
There's always that one friend that's like, I got that link to the illegal site that can get you the Jets game or whatever. And then you're like, is it, does this really work? Yeah. Type in this password. And then you type it in and like 18 other weird websites pop up.
Pop-ups. You got to find the X. It's not where the X is. It's like on the top right, small X. It's not on the little part where the X is. You click that X and then 7 other windows open up. Yeah. It's just like, can I just pay for cable? This is just,
We've all been there. We've definitely all been there.
yeah.
With all those
I've been
things
there.
popping up. It's brutal. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know how things go if how I figure out the Nets this season.
So you really don't think that the Knicks Nets trade with Mikal Bridges had anything to do with them doing business together now and like opening up the door for that?
Definitely,
it's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, definitely not. There's other teams involved. The reason I think the trade went down is the Knicks offered
The most,
they doubled the offer. For,
well, you're making that. We don't know what the offer was. We don't know what the other
all
offer
indications are that this was the best offer by far.
But that's not.
And they
That doesn't have to be doubling the offer. It's like you think somebody just offered the highest offer was 4 and the Knicks offered 8.
I don't think anyone went. I think the Knicks, for all the reasons we've talked about,
the tax, the
friendships,
yeah,
the final piece of the Infinity Stone, which is so stupid.
Well, Jake Fisher, when he was on this podcast, said on our podcast, I don't remember what episode it was, but it was in the beginning of the offseason, and he said like the only way Mikal Bridges gets traded to the Knicks if Jalen Brunson says, I want him. And we all like laughed it off. We're like, yeah, okay, it's never happening, blah, blah. He's not going to do that, et cetera, et cetera. And then he did it.
He did.
So he runs the team and, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, like I said a million times, both teams have benefited from this trade in different ways, but both organizations are better off for it.
Yep.
I mean, I will say that. Yes, both teams, both organizations are in better places for it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So also the YES app was $25 a month or $240 annually. And then MSG Plus was $30 a month. So now for $40 a month, you can get both. So I guess it's cool for like the broadcaster or the radio host that just wants to watch both games in one spot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for the consumer who's watching there's no diehard Knicks and diehard Nets fan that has to watch both games. You're just like, I'll catch the Nets later.
Right.
You're a Knicks fan and you're a Knicks fan. You're like, Nets fan. I'm like, I'll catch the Knicks later. I'll check the highlights, whatever. I mean, we both watch both because we do the show, but like, who the hell else does that? You know what I mean? Like, especially now with the Nets sucking, or when it was Durant Nets is something else. It was like checking both games all the time. Whatever, it is what it is. Both teams are connected, and we're gonna have some fun. So
yeah, did you watch Hard Knocks Giants?
I did not. No, I heard about it. I heard about it. How I watched the first one and then I got disinterested, but. Because I like the Hard Knocks with the training camp stuff, like that's cool. But like the off season kind of, I was like,
loved it. I couldn't have loved it more.
Do you think it's better than the training camp ones?
It's just very different. It's just very different because it's behind the scenes of what goes on with trades. And I think like my first thought after watching this thing was I think I'm going to apply for the Giants. I think I can do this. Like the way guys are
I played Madden. Yeah.
talking about trades and you see Joe Shane on the phone, like, oh man, you really need another 7. I'm like, it just felt so casual in the conversations, the back
and these are about
forths.
people. Yeah. It's not like...
And I was like, I think, and just these kind of deep level organizations, like, should we go with Dan? I guess so. If this happens in that trade, we'll move on from Daniel. And if it doesn't, we'll keep him. Like, so simple.
Yeah.
But stuff that's so complex and has so much money tied up to it. I loved it. It was very different. Last year with the Jets one, and I know the Bears are now on the traditional hard.
Yeah, I don't watch it. Yeah.
I mean, the Jets one, you're seeing the Aaron Rodgers first year excitement. So that had its own different. It was very different than what you were getting with with the Giants.
I like the Rams one a couple of years ago when they first moved to LA, back to LA. Like that was cool because it was like a live documentary of the team moving. I don't know. That kind of stuff is cool to me. Like I just watched the Steve McNair documentary on Netflix. It was really good. It was really good. And Jeff Fisher, talk. I don't want to give it away, but he gave away. He talked about taking over with the Oilers and how that all ended up and changing, and then they moved, and he was like, then nobody was coming. Then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're moving, and all of a sudden he just goes, oh fuck, you know what I mean? It was just like really funny. But that doesn't give away. It was just a funny part from it. It was really, really good. Definitely highly recommend on Netflix, which costs $24.99 a month. But I wanted to bring this up, and we talked about this before the show a little bit in our pre-production meeting. LeBron James, I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm just like, I'm just so tired of this guy. Like I'm actually, one of the guys that is not a LeBron hater. I think he's a cornball, like overall, like as a person, but he's a good guy. He's not a criminal. He's nothing, he's just a guy, like a family man, but I just think he's corny, the Taco Tuesday stuff he does and the whatever. I just think he's corny, but I'm just so tired of him. Like, can LeBron just retire already? Like it's been 20 plus years. You're playing with your son. Can this be your final year? At least Tom Brady, and I hate Tom Brady more than any athlete probably in history. At least when he started to not win anymore, he was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. Like he was in New England winning Super Bowls. He went to Tampa, won a Super Bowl. They were okay. Then that last year, he was like, all right, it's time to go. He was not like, I'm going to hang on until my son comes into the NFL. It's just like, and I know LeBron's still putting up numbers, but it's just enough. I'm just tired of the old guard. And that's why I wasn't really into Team USA until like the gold medal game and the game before that one. Like it was kind of like interesting at that point. But the whole time I'm just like, this is so boring. Like Steph and LeBron and Durant and the same guys over and over and over and over again. Like I want to see like Anthony Edwards. I want to see even Halliburton play. I want to see Brunson there. I know he was hurt. I want to see like the new guys. Like it's just back in the day when we grew up, guys went to school 2 to 4 years and then got into the NBA and played like 10 to 12. Now guys are playing out of high school or 1 year and playing 18 to 20 years. It's just like it's too much time, man. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that.
I haven't really thought about it much. So I'm glad you're bringing it up. Been thinking about LeBron. I'll use the comparison because people like to do it, but there was the Bulls guard Michael Jordan who
I've heard of him.
Who's the better player all time, and Jordan retired, then comes back, plays with Washington, puts up okay
decent numbers,
but he wasn't Michael Jordan. But also I'm saying this to compare him to LeBron, who's past where Jordan was in age. And LeBron, although he's not,
didn't take years off like Jordan did, like
and he's not he did come from high school. Jordan 3 years at UNC, but LeBron is more effective at his age than Michael was at his. Now, I'm agreeing with you that he's not the best player in the world and all that, but he's still a very, very, very good high level player. And I would say it's less about LeBron and more just about the modern NBA. And not just the play, but like the health, taking care of his body. I mean, LeBron is he's like my age, but he's just a well-oiled machine, and let's be real about it. He wants to play with his son. He doesn't really give a shit about winning anymore. That's
No,
the truth. And I think
that's the problem.
Maybe that's the core of it. He's
Yeah.
not LeBron Miami. He's not LeBron Cleveland Part 2. He's not LeBron early Lakers. He's now there because he wants to play with his son and doesn't really give a shit. I mean, obviously they're gonna try to win. I don't want to minimize, like, he's just out there not caring. But he knows that the Lakers aren't a title contender. He knows that. I mean, in Miami and Cleveland, every year he was there. Every year minus
they were in the finals every year.
You're like, this team can win a championship.
He was in the finals 10 straight years, dude. That's insane.
If he was really serious about winning, although people would get so on him for this, he'd go to another team and be the third guy or the second guy.
But he won't.
Whatever.
But he won't. Because he doesn't want to be that, because it would hurt his legacy to win a title that way, and they would discredit him and whatever. He cares too much about
it. He goes
it.
to the Suns.
Yeah, go to the Suns. LeBron on another super team. Anthony Davis isn't enough. And because the Lakers aren't winning. I mean, I know they were in the Western Conference Finals like 2 years ago, which is crazy. We forget about that. But, and that Lakers title doesn't feel like a real title because they were in the bubble, because you don't have the whole hoopla, the parades and the whole thing. So it's weird. It still counts, because they won the way that any other team would have won that year. It's not their fault that there was a pandemic, so. Which that was a year maybe the Bucks might have won if they had the real crowd, because they were awesome that year. That was the first year they really blew up. They were like the 1 seed or something, right? And I just feel like it's just enough. It's just, let's just go away. And I feel like he wants to get his second son to come in and play with him too, and have all three of them on the team, and have a James 3-team player starting lineup. And like, how do the Lakers stand for this? You know what I mean? If they're not winning anymore, I know he's putting butts in the seats and they're going on national TV, but it's enough, man.
I know it's gimmicky and it's strange, but I can't wait to watch it. Like, tell me after all that there's going to be a game where LeBron's playing with his son and no one's. I mean, you're going to watch.
He's the most famous rookie. Bronny James is the most famous rookie in the league this year.
Agree.
Yeah. By far.
Right,
he's the biggest draw by far.
Could change.
Absolutely. But
once we
right now,
play.
If you told any most random NBA fans, name one player in the draft this year, Bronny James is the most popular one. I can't name a lot of the players in the draft this year. There were so many Europeans and so many international players, and the college guys weren't big stars. It's not like a Cooper Flag draft or a Zion draft, where you knew the top 3 to 5 picks, and it's not just because the Knicks were in the top part of the draft. It's because there were such big stars with RJ and Zion on the same team on Duke, and you know what I mean? It was a whole thing.
Cam Reddish.
And now it's like, Cam Reddish, and Morant came out of nowhere, and it's just, I don't know. No, this year it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird year in the NBA, but the Knicks are going to win the championship, so that's all that matters to me.
Well, I just, when you say that, a few things run through my head. I think about some of your other predictions, and I'm like, I'm glad he's saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think, well, he's due to get one right at some point. So that's what I kind of debate, right? And we'll see. I mean, only time will tell. But, man, the Nets might be better than the Knicks, and that was not right.
No, I said may. I said
may, whatever.
I said may. Knicks may be better than they had the same record at the time.
But it was, if your Knick prediction goes the same way, that'd be a good thing.
The only way the Knicks are not in the Eastern Conference Finals is if they have injuries again, at least. So
you can't.
I'm just saying that's the only way. That's the only way in my mind.
Or they lose the games to the other team.
I don't think they're going to. That's the thing. I don't think they're going to.
Right. You don't think they are, but there is a world where they don't win the games.
Well,
and then
sports,
because of that,
yes.
The other team gets more points, and then it doesn't happen.
I've said this so many times now. I've been on that train of don't jinx it. You don't want to touch the money and da 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 da. Enough. It hasn't worked. I'm going to be 40 in November, Mike.
Oh God, I don't
it's time. It's time for the team to win.
Sympathy for me. It's
time for the team to win. It's time to talk about it and speak it into existence, like the great LeVar Ball used to say. I'm speaking it into existence. It's time. They're going to win it all. And that's it. No more Evan Fourniers. No more of these guys that are just scrubs and taking up space. Like, this team is good from top to bottom. And Even without Hartenstein. With Hartenstein would have been gravy. It's like the Jets with Hassan Reddick. It'd been gravy. But end of the day, they're still title contenders.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I'm just like, look at the last couple of years, the teams that make it. And you were saying about the Lakers before that they were in the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. I think the new modern NBA, and this is post now Warriors stuff, each year there's different teams. And
Yeah.
I think that should give you hope as a Knicks fan,
Right.
but also the volatility of just where things can go. It could be anywhere. You got the Mavericks who went to the Western Conference Finals the year before. They were dog shit.
And
Went to the NBA Finals, excuse me.
Right. Year before they tanked the last month, so they wouldn't give up their draft pick. So they could,
which ended up working out pretty well
for them. Yeah, did
because
they screwed the Knicks.
Who they drafted Lively.
Right.
He's the foundational piece.
And imagine Lively on the Knicks or somebody like that as another piece instead of.
It's big.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to draft well, but that's why sometimes
right.
a loss here or there is not a bad thing. I mean, in the long run, that helped the Mavs, even though it was annoying.
It was the right thing to do for them at the time.
Was.
Honestly, I say this on this podcast all the time too, and on Twitter at Nick Central, but long-term tanking like what the Sixers did is wrong. It's bad. It's bad for a franchise. It's bad for the league. It's bad all around. It's you're not playing NBA 2K where you're going to sim seasons. Like these are people and people paying for tickets and and you're developing, I'll say the C word, a culture of just who gives a fuck, around the team. It's bad. And you're not going to develop talent in that way. But if you're in a situation like the Mavs were 2 years ago and you have your two stars and you're just like, we are going to lose our draft pick if we don't get into the top 10, the bottom 10. Well, fuck this season. And the fans will understand that. Like, all right, whatever. We'll take a month off and, go hang out with our family and we'll check you guys next year. You know what I mean? Fans can get that. And it totally makes sense, and like what the Knicks did when they were trying to get Towns, they traded Shumpert and J.R. Smith midseason for like Lance Thomas. And then they were just like, let's get out of this. And, they got Porzingis. It worked is sort of, and they built the franchise into what they are today with the Porzingis trade. So without that asset of Porzingis, they're not what they are now, so it's so acceptable in baseball where it's like your team stinks in the middle of the year. Let's sell off these pieces and get prospects. But any other league, it's like not acceptable. I don't understand that.
Which is why, to your Porzingis example, Mikal Bridges reset they reset the franchise, and it doesn't have to be 7-year rebuild.
Right,
it could be a quicker rebuild if things go right in the lottery and you hit on players and make
right. You get Cooper Flag next year, you're like, fuck Mikal Bridges. Who cares that he's on the next?
Right. And then if for example, if they draft Cooper Flag and they have their other pick back from the Rockets, and they have all these other first round draft picks that they can maneuver and figure things out. I mean, I will take my chances on whatever those 6 picks are, and whatever that turns out into, one of those guys is better than Mikal Bridges. I'll take that lottery chance.
Okay. We'll see.
Or something turns out better than what Mikal Bridges in the Nets were. I will say, I'll take my chances on all those trades with the Rockets, with the Knicks, that whatever the return is back gives a greater reward than Mikal Bridges being your best player. I will say that every time.
Yeah, it's just predictions. It's just whatever. It's what you're comfortable with. And
it's
like
Porzingis.
Porzingis. Get the asset, and you see what happens with the asset. I mean, players are assets. I mean, they don't like to be referred to as that, but they are. It's business. You know what I mean? Like Porzingis becomes his big star in the Knicks, because he's on the stage, and they're able to trade him even when he's injured for just to clear the deck because they didn't want to max him out. The guy didn't want to be there, and he's always injured. They said, "Screw this guy, get him out of here," and they, reset the whole team. And Perry really changed the whole franchise. I know Leon Rose gets all the credit, and he brought Brunson in, he brought Randall. He didn't bring Randall in. He brought Brunson in. He brought all these guys in that turned the franchise in already. But he was handed a clean deck, draft picks, cap space, Randall, Mitchell Robinson, already in the fold. Top pick, R.J. Barrett, easy pick. You know what I mean? These guys are all assets. I know he it is what it is, man. Leon Rose gets a lot of credit, but without Perry and without that Porzingis trade, the Knicks don't do what they're doing now.
Yeah.
But
it's true. And now you can watch them bundled with the Nets for $41.
Oh man, yeah. We
You
can.
excited for the? I'm. Are you excited for the Jets? I know. Let me ask.
I'm
I know you're excited for the
so
Jets.
excited. Yes, I'm so excited.
You know who I'm
Very.
really excited. You know who I'm most intrigued to see this season?
Who's that, Mike?
The Steelers with their team last year that was 10-7, dog shit QB play. Now to have Wilson there, I am intrigued with that defense. I'm intrigued to see what they look like, and I know there's probably some Steeler fans that listen to this because there always is. But I'm very intrigued by the Steelers. Which NFL team intrigues you, Alex? Put you on the spot. And Justin Fields is the backup. I should mention.
Besides the
Could be a
Jets,
starter at some point. Yeah, not
besides
the Jets.
Let me pull up the teams really quick.
Google NFL
You know,
team.
actually, before it loads, you know what team that's exciting to me is the Colts, because I want to see Richardson healthy. The kid looks like he's going to be a star, and he had it. Like he looked like he was going places. I was really sad that he got hurt. He's the one of those combine freaks that they don't ever work out, and then he got on the field and he worked out. So I'm really excited to see him. I'm really excited to see a lot of guys. I just want to pull up the standings just so I can, if I remember. Oh, this stupid NFL app doesn't have a standings yet because there's no
Google NFL
season.
teams.
I know. I'm
Can
only
you name all the teams? Let's do AFC East.
Yeah.
AFC East. Who are the 4 teams?
Come on. That's my division. I know.
Well, that's why I'm starting it easy.
Yeah.
We'll end.
I'm looking.
We'll end with the NFC North.
The NFC North. Let's see. You know what? A team that's going to be funny is Denver because they have some shitty quarterbacks and Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
The 49ers are going to be exciting, but the team that I really want to see is Detroit. And I think they're going to be really, really awesome. I mean, they were really good last year and got to the conference championship game and whatever. But like they're good, man.
Oh yeah,
they got it all together. The coach is great. Amon St. Brown is awesome. Amon-Ra St. Brown, excuse me. And Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Like that team is ready to rock. Yeah, it's different now. They're not the underdog, catch you sleeping kind of thing anymore. Who wins the NFC East, Mike?
NFC East, Dallas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Dallas.
Well, not the Giants, obviously.
Well, the Giants and Washington. So it's them or the Eagles. The Eagles were terrible to end last season. They were one of the worst teams in football.
Right.
And I don't think the addition.
But they started off like 10-1, right? But they were all bullshit wins. They were
terrible.
They
just faded at the end of the season. They were just terrible. I have no faith in them.
They were all like last second bullshit wins, like most of their wins early in the year. Yeah.
Dallas won the division last year. They just lost to Green Bay. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, in the first round of the playoffs. And they were terrible in the playoffs. Yeah. But it's hard for me to pick against Dallas. And I'm so used to thinking the Giants will be better, but their quarterback issues is just scary. But they did address a lot of stuff with Dexter Lawrence still there, Thibodeau still there, and then adding Burns. I mean, that line is filthy. I mean, that defensive line is going to get to the quarterback. They're going to get some sacks.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be fun. And then adding Neighbors, who you could argue is the best wide receiver in New York. I mean, you're really
sure
he could be
Garrett Wilson.
He could be. He definitely could be.
Could be, but
what is Garrett? I mean, honestly, I don't.
What has he done?
What has he done enough to say that he didn't do anything last year?
Well, he had 17 quarterbacks in his first 2 years.
I'm just saying it's not enough of a sample size for me to go out there and just say he's.
For him to have back-to-back 1,000-yard years, 1,100 and 1,000, and I know this. There's 17 games now, but like
wide receiver last year,
right? But look at his quarterbacks, dude. Like you can't take that away from him. You know what I mean? If he had Daniel Jones, he would be like one of the best top receivers in the league. Now he's gonna have Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just.
But let's not anoint that he's automatically this great. He hasn't done anything yet.
He's got the ability, and he's going to be. He's gonna be a top 3 to 5 receiver in the NFL for the next 5 years. And that's my opinion.
He's probably he's in the 7 to 11 range.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there is a world.
I disagree.
Where
that's okay.
There's a world where Neighbors is is better.
We'll see. He's got to
It's
play a
not
game first.
impossible.
He's got to play a game.
Sure.
We'll see him play a game first.
But as long as I'm saying Darius Slayton.
No, he looks awesome. Yeah.
I'm saying there's a world where it happens.
Right.
He looks like he has all world talent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Daniel Jones, I mean, like I think he stinks, but like also one of his best receivers last year is now in the practice squad. You know what I mean? So it's funny. And the team that I think actually in the NFL that's gonna be a lot worse than people are saying is Houston.
you
were gonna guess? Sorry.
Why?
I think it's Houston. The sophomore jinx with the quarterback, and I just think they're feeling themselves a little bit. I know Stephon Diggs is there now, but he stinks. He's not stinks.
He doesn't
stink. He's just kind of he's just a name now. And he's kind of a head case, blows up locker rooms. It's just, I just don't see it. I think they're going to take a step back. I mean,
but that division is terrible.
It is.
So like,
it is. And that's the other thing. We keep anointing these quarterbacks, like, you know, in Jacksonville and all around. I'm like, these guys don't do anything. You know, Trevor Lawrence is really good, but like, did it ruin the Jets franchise because they didn't draft him? No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Jets were able to build up their team. Zach Wilson stunk. They got Aaron Rodgers. You know, they could have gotten a different quarterback 2 years ago, and Derek Carr, or hopefully wished it was Lamar Jackson, but he wasn't available. And it is what it is. You know,
though, that we do. I will say I am happy that we get to see Aaron Rodgers as a Jet. If we didn't get that as football fans, I mean, that would have just been the worst.
And so Jets,
see, like boom or bust, even if he's horrible,
give me
whatever, and he's not good. I think for me and I'm not a Jet fan, so I'm not looking at like, oh man, my window's over. It's more of,
let's see it. Yeah,
I have to see this, which just shows you too. By the way, I don't hate the Jets.
No, you don't.
That I'm just like, I'm rooting. I want to see it as a football fan. I want to see what he is with the weapons around him. I want to see what that looks like, where the defense now can get a rest and is it on the field for 85% of the fucking game. I want to see what it looks like with Aaron Rodgers playing meaningful football for the Jets, because it's just so intriguing too. Like, let's forget about the first snap, the third snap, fourth snap. They're, 7-4, 8-6, and they're playing a big, meaningful game, and there's a loss, and he has to go confront the media, and we didn't get any of that.
Right.
We didn't get any of the nuance that comes with Aaron Rodgers in New York as the Jets quarterback, because it's all taken away, and it became a different story, which huge story, but a different story. I want to see what is it like when adversity hits Aaron Rodgers and he has to go up there on the podium. What happens when he gets in his face and, Garrett Wilson's complaining you weren't at the 3 practices and this is why we're not have good chemistry, whatever. I want to see that. And the story there, I think, is just, but that's why football is the best. The best. And I'll say it. It's from a league standpoint, you and I have our love for our teams locally in hoops. But from a national perspective, there's nothing like football. Knowing that on Sunday we get to watch all of these games and everything that develops there is different than, Cavs, Pacers on a Tuesday. It just is.
Yeah, no, it totally is. You can watch a random football game and be a lot more excited. But can you name all the starting quarterbacks that Garrett Wilson has had over the last 2 years? So obviously Zach Wilson is one. That's easy, right?
So Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, technically for a start.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers 1-0 as a starter, by the way, for the Jets, just so you know.
Well, Wilson played okay. Had a nice pass in that game. So Wilson, Rodgers, Mike White, Joe Flacco.
Yep.
2 more. Two more?
Yeah.
What's his face that was there last year? The former Bronco. Trevor Siemian?
Yep.
The last one I won't get.
Boyle. Remember, he got cut because he was the snitch. Yep. He was the snitch and got cut.
Yeah, Boyle.
So, you're like, oh, Garrett Wilson hasn't shown me anything. I can't even name his quarterbacks.
I just don't think you can guarantee me that he'll have a better career.
Right.
Than
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Neighbors is. Garrett Wilson, I know, is going to be a superstar. I just know it. I can see it and I know it. And that's all I know. Breece Hall also. It's going to be sick.
Do the Jets have any other offensive weapons, though?
Not really. Mike Williams coming off injury. It's going to be good. Corley, a rookie slot guy, looks really good.
Okay.
Conklin.
They all look really good. I mean, come on. But
Allen, this rookie is a monster, like the rookie running back.
Jets, national perspective right now, they have 2 offensive weapons. That's it.
Well, Mike Williams is a good player, man. Just if he's healthy is really what it is.
Yeah, but am I wrong?
No, but Alan Lazard also is only good when he's with Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see what he does, this year coming up. I don't know. We'll see. Like, we got to see it. But Corley is a rookie. You never know. He could be really good. He's a slot guy. He's number 17, like, Gary Wilson's number.
But you got to draft well. You got to draft well. You have to have young talent.
I am actually excited, though, for the Jets offensive line with Tyron Taylor there and a bag. ABT's got to stay healthy, whatever. Tippmann's had some issues snapping it and practice in training camp. He's got the yips. But the Jets offensive line, they got the rookie Olu as a tackle to learn from Tyron Smith, who's a Hall of Famer, if he's, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's all right there, man, for them. And the defense won 7 games last year with the worst quarterback play in the NFL, which is insane, So it's just, listen, man, they got the skill position players, they got the defense, they got the line. It's all there. They just got a shitty coach. You know what I mean? But Aaron Rodgers is the coach. He's basically the coach. He's basically the player coach. So
Jets and Giants did a nice job in the offseason. Addressing their offensive lines. Both teams had to. The Jets definitely had to. Giants definitely had to. Who knows if it all works out? I mean, with offensive lines as well, you think you have all the answers. Like, what's his face? They signed the Giants. I'm forgetting his name. The guy from what was his name? The Patriot left guard, left tackle. Oh, God. And then he came to the Giants. It was terrible.
Oh, last year?
No, years ago.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm spacing out of the name. It's not important. But the point is, it's very difficult to predict how.
Offensive linemen are like relief pitchers in baseball. Sometimes you think you got it all set, and you don't.
Yeah. No,
but
hey,
I'm looking forward to football.
Fair to be. Who did the Jets open the season with?
In San Francisco Monday night.
Oh, that's right. That's a good one. That's right.
Trent Williams and Ayuk are holdouts, so that's their left tackle and their number 2 wide receiver. And let's see what happens. I mean, they still have a pretty good tight end, another wide receiver there in San Francisco. That's and that running back is pretty good too. You know what I mean? And so it is what it is. They're stacked. San Francisco is one of the best teams in the league, as always. But man, it's definitely a homer pick. I'm definitely thinking the Jets can come in there and steal it. I'm just like, get in there and I'll be on top of the world. The Jets somehow win that game and win it handily. You know what I mean? Like win handily, like 27-17 or something like that, where the game wasn't really in like.
Yeah. How about if it's 31
like a late touchdown, 31-7 to lose
49ers, and you see Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers with one of these,
and I'll be like, it's game 1.
Man, you're funny.
It is game 1. It is not the end of the world, but game 1 can give you a lot of positive reaction publicly, especially when you open up on Monday night after what happened last year Monday night. And I heard they wanted the Jets to open up Monday night at home, and the Jets said, no, we don't want to do that. Please don't do that to us.
I understand that.
Yeah, can we go on the road if we have to be? Like, why do we have to be Monday night in San Francisco? Can't we open up like Sunday against Tennessee? Like, what I mean? Just give us something, like get our feet wet. Rodgers, that's what it is. Sink or swim, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
No, I'm look at that. I mean, that game, the all eyeballs will be on that. I mean, there's no doubt it's been a full year since Aaron Rodgers played. Another Monday night game going up against the NFC champions, a team that has a great defense, questionable quarterback play. They'll be fun.
And then they're gonna be like, once he gets to his 5th play, they're gonna be like, he made it to his 5th play. Congrats to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you know it's coming. It's coming.
They should just run the ball like the first 6 times just to make sure that he doesn't get hurt, and then we just go. Or throw like a screen to Brees and just like easy dink and dunks, like get his feet wet, take a hit.
Looking forward to it.
All right, man.
The Bad Weather Fans, episode 2.
Talk football too.
Yeah, a little football next week. Big DraftKings coming back with us, so we're excited about all of that. Nets and Knicks. Offseason continues. Don't forget, people, if you want to check it out, we've got some really good interviews that we've done in the past. Check those out. Richard Jefferson, Tracy McGrady, Buddha, Kerry Kittles, Chris Childs,
Meta World Peace,
Channing Frye,
Connor Hughes, Evan Roberts, Giannotti.
Who
Who else? Forgot.
Did I say Buddha?
He said Buddha. Kerry Kittles, he said that also.
Yes. Ben Harris.
It's Ben Harris. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Who texted me today, actually? Spen.
Nice.
He texted me by accident. He said it wasn't by accident, but he texted me. All I got was I saw the notification come. It goes, "Hey Alex," and I know if Spen's texting me from Fireside Nets, by the way, Spen Harris. Shout out to this podcast, good show, Nets podcast. I see the text come up. It goes, "Hey Alex," with a comma, and I was just like, "This wasn't for me." It's like when we text each other, it's usually
formal.
like sarcastic, like bullshit jokes, and it's like, "Do you mind coming over and watching my dog? I'm going to Hawaii with my wife later this month." And I was like, "I think you got the wrong Alex." He's like, "No, I sent it to you on purpose. I just wanted to see what your reaction was." Like,
Should have been like, yes, and then screwed him. And it's like, where are you? It'd be like, dude, you never asked me.
I said that to him later. I'm like the old kill your dog trick. I love dogs too much, but no, I gave him recommendations in Hawaii. I went there for my honeymoon. It's great. Mama's Fish House. He's got to go. So anyway, if Maui's still there, I don't know after all those fires. So we'll see how it is there. I don't know what it's like.
Bad weather fans, honeymoon recommendations, vacation.
We do it all here. Oh, that was loud. Sorry.
Yeah, you popped. Yeah. You popped. All right. This has been Bad Weather Fans, episode 233. We'll see you later, Alex.
All right, Mike. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well.